first technique that I would like to share with you is around understanding your value systems and making changes in line with aligning your life with your own personal value systems. Let's clarify the issue of values. Now, I like to consider values as our own personal inner compass that allows us to gauge whether or not something is acceptable or right or good for us. We all know what it feels like when we compromise our values, when we do something or think something or say something that is in conflict with our own personal values. We feel bad, we feel guilty sometimes. And when we do things that aligns with our own personal values, we feel good. Do you have any idea as to what your personal values are? Have you ever given it any thought? Remember, we're not talking about what you ought to have as a value or what society says you should have as a value. It's what your personal values really, truly are. And a value can be emotional, a value can be physical, or a value could be spiritual. Think for a few minutes around what your values are, and I would like you to take the time to write down a few values that are important in your life. An example of a spiritual value could be to have faith in the universe and its plan for you. An emotional value may be to love without judgment, my family and friends. A physical value may be to be rich and successful. A different kind of physical value could be around health, fitness, wellness. Another kind of emotional value could be around fairness and treating everybody in a fair manner. What's important to realize is that we have all of these values for a reason. And that reason is based in what these values allow us to experience in life. For example, the loving without judgment every moment of every day our friends and family. What does that give me in my life? Well, perhaps it allows me to appreciate every moment with my loved ones. That's what it gives me in my life. For you, perhaps your values are different, and most likely your reasons are a little different. Take some time now and write down your top 5 values. By all means, if you have more, continue. But I would like you to think of at least 5 values that are important in your life. And they can be emotional, spiritual, or physical. Remember, there's no judgment here and there's no right or wrong answer. And this is true for you and you alone. Take some time to do that now. Now that you've listed your top 5 values, I'd like you to take the time and add next to each value why it is that that value is important. Just a short explanation of what living that value gives you in life. Do that now. Now that you have each of your value listed and each one has an explanation next to it as to how it improves your life, I would like you to take each value in turn, say it aloud, and express it as if you are living that value every day. For example, if I have a value to love without judgment my friends and family, because that gives me the opportunity to enjoy each moment with them, I would express this value as, I live a life in which I enjoy each and every moment with my family because I love them without judgment. Could be a little tricky, but give it a go. And begin each value with, I live a life of. Once you have stated your I live a life of statement, take some time to consider whether or not there's any truth in that statement. You'll probably find that there is at least a little bit, that you do at least do some of that or experience a life that has some of that. But you'll probably find that for each value, we all fall a little short of the ideal. If it's difficult to give a straight yes or no answer as to whether or not we're living the life of that value, then give it a percentage. How much am I loving without judgment? Maybe 40%, maybe 60%. By doing this with each and every value, you can begin to pinpoint what aspects of your life are not 100% aligned with your values. And by deciding to make changes around these values, you can begin to make changes in ways that would be really meaningful on a very fundamental level in your life. If, for example, I find that I'm not loving my family without judgment, I could set an intention to love them more and love them without judgment, and so improve the way I live my life in accordance with my values. This technique is a good way to understand your value system and to understand how and in what way you can make sustainable and positive change in aspects of your life that will help you align with your value system.